Welcome. Today we're doing a deep dive into leadership fundamentals. Now, thinking about you, our listeners, CEOs, board members, you're certainly familiar with the core ideas.
Oh, absolutely. The strategic frameworks, motivational models,
Yeah.
you've encountered them all.
You've seen them. Concepts like start with why, matching leadership style to the company's growth stage, handling team issues.
Right. And motivating through purpose, autonomy, mastery, providing structured feedback. These are, the well-known pillars. They form a necessary base.
Unnecessary base, exactly. But I'm probably not sufficient, especially at the top.
That's the point. They're table stakes at your level.
Right. So our focus today, drawing on some really interesting source material about human dynamics, what's sometimes called Humint in organizations. It argues that truly effective leadership, especially at the highest levels, operates much deeper. We want to get beneath those visible pillars.
Yeah, and that takes us to what our source calls the decisive ground. This is moving beyond the textbook stuff. It's about the reality, the sometimes messy reality, of organizational life. It's where leaders really excel because they listen differently in key conversations.
Differently how? Like beyond just the words.
Exactly. Hearing the hesitations, the undercurrents, what isn't being said but is clearly felt. It's also about spotting where the real power lies in a conflict.
Which isn't always shown on the org chart, is it?
Rarely. It's often informal. And picking up those really subtle early signs of disengagement on your team way before HR gets involved.
Catching things before they snowball. That makes sense.
And knowing the difference between healthy pressure, the kind that drives performance, and harmful stress that just burns people out.
It's a critical distinction.
It really is. And it extends to coaching, too. Sensing those kind of tipping points where the right word or question can make a huge difference. That takes sharp observation.
You need to be really tuned in to the human element.
Absolutely. A nuanced understanding of behavior in that specific context.
But according to our source, even mastering that isn't the whole story. There's another layer.
There is. It's termed the hidden layer. And this is apparently where the real mastery of leadership happens. It's about grasping the invisible human factors at play.
Invisible factors, like what specifically?
Well, think about invisible loyalties. People might align based on past relationships or unspoken pacts, and that can steer decisions in ways formal structures just don't predict.
Okay, I can see that.
And consider the silences in your board meetings. What's the strategic weight of something not being voiced? Why the quiet, that silence can speak volumes.
Interesting. Or maybe the flaws hidden behind seemingly perfect strategies, the human biases creeping in.
Precisely. The blind spots, the personal vulnerabilities, maybe even unspoken agendas. These can totally undermine a solid plan if you're not aware of them.
Yeah, the human element again.
And then there's the ripple effect. How does a decision at the top really impact team balance and morale down the line? It's often underestimated.
And relational biases, you mentioned. How we might favor input from people we know well.
Exactly. Even if their input isn't the most objective or data-driven in that instance. We lean towards the familiar. It's natural, but potentially risky in high-stakes decisions.
So the core idea here isn't about needing yet another leadership tool or framework.
No, not really. As CEOs, as board members, you likely have plenty of those.
Right.
The key differentiator, the source strongly suggests, is cultivating the right lens. The ability to perceive these subtle dynamics, these hidden currents.
Before they become obvious problems for everyone else.
Yes. Because a weak signal, maybe a fleeting expression, someone uncharacteristically quiet in a key meeting that can actually be more predictive, more important than strong, loud data sometimes.
If you have the lens to see it.
If you have the lens, seemingly small interactions can destabilize things significantly if they're part of a larger unseen pattern.
Okay, so the main takeaway for you listening is those fundamental principles are crucial. They're the bedrock. But true leadership mastery at your level, it demands this deeper awareness.
A constant tuning in to the unspoken, the hidden dynamics, the complex human factors that are always shaping your organization.
Which leads to a final thought, maybe something to reflect on.
Yeah, in your own key meetings, your board discussions, what invisible loyalties might be subtly shaping the conversation?
Or what's the real meaning behind those moments of silence? What isn't being said?
What might you be missing just beneath the surface? And crucially, how could adjusting your lens, looking more closely at these human elements, how could that change your understanding and ultimately lead to stronger, more insightful decisions?